Hey everyone, I thought today we could just have a very cozy little knit and chat where I share some patterns that I've really been loving recently. So yeah, I'm just gonna be sitting here working on my Lakes pullover. I just joined in the round last night, so now I just get to do stockinette in the round for a while, but I'm making this Lakes pullover with Briggs & Little Heritage yarn in the color Royal Blue. If you'd like to join, feel free to grab a project or maybe a cozy drink or something, and yeah, let's just hang out and talk knitting patterns. I have, I think, 11 patterns to share today. They are mostly newer releases. I think majority of them have been released like in the past 6 months or even less. And it's a mix of quite a few sweaters, a couple like tops and blouses, a t-shirt, a blanket. So yeah, I'm just gonna talk to you about these patterns and kind of how I'd envision them if I make them. I have quite a few things on my queue right now. I actually just got accepted into 2 test knits, and so I have like some deadlines. So I don't know if and when I'll ever make all of these patterns, but I still wanted to talk about them and share them with you all. So let's just jump right in. I have my laptop here if I look like I'm looking down. But let's start with the Peony Vest, and this is by Annie Sews. So this is this like top-down stockinette vest, which is like nothing too crazy except for the button band. It has this really cool like wavy looking button band. It's made with bulky yarn on a 14 stitch gauge, and it comes in 9 sizes. And yeah, I have been eyeing this one for a while. So I follow Annie Sews on Instagram, and she was selling them as like finished objects, like just making the best for people for a while. And I was like even considering like trying to reverse engineer and make my own version of it, but I think enough people asked about a pattern, so she released this pattern a few weeks ago, I think, and I just think it's so cool. I really love the one, I guess she has a couple samples here, but I really love the sample photo I'm showing here with the kind of neutral color but a fun button, so like an off-white with a blue button I think is really cool. Yeah, someone just made a version kind of like in a similar blue to this, what I'm knitting on right now, and I really love that as well. I feel like you could, I don't know, you really can't go wrong with this one in colors. You could kind of make it whatever, but I think this is just such a cool, unique piece. I hope I can make it maybe in the fall. I think it could be a really cool layering piece as well. So yeah. The next piece, I actually did buy yarn for, and I'm really excited about it. This is the Mimi sweater by Ann Bensel. It is this drop shoulder, oversized sweater with these wide color block, or you know, wider like stripes. But then the detail I really love is that all of the stripes, and then also around like the neckline and the armholes, you get this like dotted line effect, which I guess according to this Ravelry page is done with a slip stitch pattern. So I'm really curious how that works up, but I just really love this look. I don't know, I think I saw this on Instagram and was like immediately sold on this pattern. It is made with Aran weight. It's recommended a DK plus a lace weight on an 18 stitch gauge, and then it comes in 8 sizes. A lot of the suggested yarn are not yarns available in the US. They're like, I guess some of them are, but most of them are European yarn brands, I think. So I ended up buying Rama Garn Fivel yarn. I'll put up a picture of the color palette I ended up buying. It's quite similar to the pattern, like the main pattern photo it's a little hard to see, but there's actually 5 colors in this. Black, and then there's like a dark maroony purpley color, and then the tan, the blue, and then the white for the slip stitch dotted lines. So yeah, I ended up getting a pretty similar color palette. And yeah, I think the yarn's supposed to be here like early next week, in a few days maybe. So yeah, I probably won't cast this on until the fall, which feels fine. This feels like something I wouldn't really wear until the fall or winter anyways, but I'm really excited to make this pattern. I've never made anything by this designer before, but I just really love the slip stitch detail. There's also versions where it's just like a 2-color stripe. So yeah, lots of options here. The next pattern is a blanket, and I didn't realize it's also a free pattern. This is the Color Cascade blanket by Sonia Savulian. And yeah, it's this Aran weight 18 stitch gauge blanket. It's just one size. I think it's meant to be a 50-inch square, but it can be adapted to be any size, she says. So it's just this color blocked blanket. It's done with intarsia. Yeah, it's like reminiscent of a quilt to me. I just think this looks so cool. Something, I don't know. I feel like the colors, you could totally make this with scrap yarn, or yeah, I feel like that would be cool if you had, you know, your usual color palette and sweaters and just use like leftover yarn and made a blanket like this. I do love all these bright colors made in this sample, but yeah, and I feel like you could totally adapt this to be like a baby blanket, like a smaller size, or a lap blanket or something like that. And I feel like it would be a good beginner intarsia project since it's not too complicated. It's just 2 colors at a time. It's all done in garter stitch, it looks like. So yeah, I am currently working on a blanket, which is the Stella Quilt blanket, and the rate at which I've been working on that, it's probably gonna take me like 2 years to finish. And so I probably won't make this anytime in the near future, because 2 blankets at once sounds like more than than I'd be willing to do. I think I only need to ever be working on 1 blanket at a time, but yeah, I just really think this is a cool one. All right, the next pattern on my list is the Coastline mini dress by Olga Knitwear Design. This is a stockinette stitch dress, kind of like a higher neckline tank top. And then you have some bust shaping and some waist shaping. And yeah, at least the sample is made in like a mini dress size. And the detail I was most drawn to is this little tie feature on the back of the dress, kind of for additional waist shaping. It's really simple, but I think the fit, it looks like it's really well designed. Yeah, I feel like this dress design is just very timeless, and you could wear it for years to come. She recommends you make it with 100% cotton. And yeah, it's a sport weight yarn gauge and comes in extra small through 3XL. Yeah, I think this would be really fun to make in like even just a black yarn, just like a black dress would be really nice. You could definitely wear it or make it with something more colorful for the summer, like a summery yellow or a red maybe. And I also think because of how simple it is, it could be fun to duplicate stitch like on the front chest area, like some sort of graphic. I'll put a picture of like what I'm envisioning for that. But yeah, I feel like this is just a really good basic dress pattern. I've never knit a dress or a skirt or anything like that. Yeah, I guess I've just never really been drawn to one like this before, but this would definitely be high on my list if I ever knit a dress. The next one is a striped sweater. I've been very into stripes. This is the Alma Sweater by Kiss Kiss Rhinestones. It is this raglan, kind of like a wider raglan, oversized fit, just cozy little striped sweater. It's made with Aran weight yarn on a 17 stitch gauge, and it comes in 9 sizes as well. Yeah, I'm usually not like, usually I like striped sweaters that are a drop shoulder construction, but the way that the stripes look on this raglan, I really love the detail of the striped raglan look on this one. And yeah, when it comes to stripes, colors wise, I get like overwhelmed because there's so many options. I do really love the sample photo in like the pink and red combo. There's another tester photo that's like a more neutral color palette that I really love as well. Yeah, I feel like stripes, you can go so many different ways. I have really been into like monochrome stripes, so like two shades of the same color in stripes, so like a lighter and darker green or something like that. But yeah, I think this is a really cool design. I also like how thin the stripes are on this one. I think it's 2 rows per stripe. Just a nice basic. I feel like this could be, depending on the yarn you use, choose a yarn so that you could wear it in any season. I think if you wanted it more for the warmer months, like a cotton blend, or more like a wool for the colder months. So yeah, lots of possibilities here. The next one is not my usual style, but it is the Klara Blouse by Maria's Verdin. And yeah, I would not normally pick out something this feminine looking, like kind of dainty feminine style, but something about this, I think this is another one I saw on Instagram and was like, yeah, that is really cool. So it is this very light, delicate blouse with a detachable collar. I didn't realize you actually knit the top and the collar separate, which I like that versatility too, because you could wear just the blouse on its own without the collar as well. Oops. But yeah, it's a DK weight pattern on a 21 stitch gauge and comes in extra extra small through 4XL. And yeah, it has these like balloon sleeves. Overall, like a pretty simple, is it drop shoulder raglan? I think it's like a raglan construction, it looks like, for the top. But I literally love the shape of the collar as well. Yeah, I don't actually own any shirts with collars like this, but I always see them and like them. And the shape of this one, like the wavy edge at the bottom of the collar, I really love. I feel like if I made this, I would probably make it in a similar color to the sample photo, this like off-white. I do think you'd want to keep it a little bit more muted on the color for this one. I'm looking at the sample photo where she's holding a cup of matcha, and I feel like that matcha green could also be a really nice color for this top. But yeah, I think keeping this one simple and just letting the elegance of the design shine through, yeah, it's just really pretty. And the next one is a completely different vibe. This is the Linea Cardigan by Inusik Studio. And this one isn't actually a pattern yet. She's just posted it on Instagram and she said she's working on a pattern for it. But it is this 2-color, another thin stripe pattern, but this one's a cardigan and it's worked sideways, it looks like, and maybe seamed together. And it has a little bit of this collar detail. And then she has very close together buttons, so there's a lot of buttons. And in this sample, she's done like all sorts of random color buttons, and I think that really adds to the look. There's another version she's posted too where the colors are a little more muted and she just has like a uniform button, and I like that as well. But I feel like this one is just so fun. I feel like you can make this with scraps and like just go wild with the colors and use a bunch of colors. The color combos and the button options are just, another one where I get overwhelmed thinking about all the things you could do. Even in the sample, like I would not pick those colors to go with each other necessarily. Like looks kind of like a yellow and almost like a dark brown maybe. It's a little hard to tell, but like I wouldn't put those two colors together, but I really love how the final product looks. So I hope this becomes a pattern soon, and I'd be really curious to see what everyone chooses who makes this, you know, their colors and their buttons. But yeah, I just thought this was really fun. The next one is, I've posted this on my Instagram story like 5 times because I just think it's such a cool design. It's the Daphnis Cardigan by Emma Mayer. It is this wrap cardigan that has this asymmetrical look, and then it has these little, I think, I-cord bows to tie it off on the one side. Yeah, I just think this is a really unique look. I don't think I've seen many other patterns that look like this before, or even just like clothing in general. Yeah, it is done on a pretty light gauge, so I think it's basically, 20 stitch gauge. She recommends a light fingering plus a lace weight held together. And so it's very like lightweight and flowy. I feel like this would be a great transitional piece for, I don't know, for some reason I see it more in the fall than the spring, maybe because of the color in the sample photo. But yeah, I just think it's really a simple but effective, unique design. So I saw one of the sample knitters make it in this brown combo. The colors are a little bit different in the two yarns held together, so it gives a little bit of a marled effect. And I think if I make this, I would just copy this exactly because I really love how this version turned out. And yeah, like I said, I feel like this would be the perfect piece for the fall. Oh, and it does come in 8 sizes as well. The next is the Sunny Tee by Lisa Lionello. This is just like my ideal knit t-shirt. I feel like all spring and into summer I've been wanting to make a t-shirt, and there's so many t-shirt patterns, but all of them, like nothing has quite been right. Like I'll look at them and really like certain aspects, but like be like, oh, I'd probably, tweak the sleeves or maybe the bind offs, not quite right or something. But something about this t-shirt in particular, I saw it and was like, no, that's exactly what I've been looking for. It is a raglan construction, top down with short row shaping. It has a more wider set raglan, and I think that really adds to the look of it. And otherwise looks like pretty simple finishings. Looks like it would be a really quick and fun, easy knit to make. It's made with sport weight yarn on a 24 stitch gauge and also comes in 9 sizes. This one would be great to make in more basic colors for just an everyday shirt, but you could also totally make it in like a lime green or a fun pink or something for the summer. And I feel like this would be another really fun one to duplicate stitch and make it look like a graphic tee. So putting some sort of design on the front section would be really cool for this pattern. The next pattern is the Flecks of Sunshine by Heidi Kastner. This, my friend bought me a couple Linea magazines, and this is one of the patterns in those magazines. It's from the issue 24, which is, I believe, spring 2025 magazine. Not something I would necessarily pick pick out as my style, but this pattern really spoke to me. It is this loose, like airy blouse with a little bit, not full length, like 3/4 length sleeves. And it has this, I think it's a lace design on the sleeves, but it almost looks like crochet, like it reminds me of granny squares or something. And then it kind of has this like Henley look to the front with a little V-neck. And yeah, I feel like this would just be a really good everyday kind of blouse. Like I feel like it's casual enough, but still like looks a little bit elevated. I almost bought yarn for this. So this is made with Linea by Sandisgarn. My issue was I can like only picture it in this color. Like I want it to be in the same color as the sample photos, which is called Spicy Orange. And I couldn't find the spicy orange colorway. So I gave up and I didn't buy yarn. But yeah, I do really love it in this kind of rusty orange color. And yeah, it comes and also comes in 9 sizes. And it is a worsted weight project. The only thing is I think you can only get the pattern in the magazine. I don't know if it's been released as a standalone pattern yet, but yeah, definitely on my list. And maybe I will hunt a little more for this exact yarn color. The last pattern I have is the Levitate Wrap by My Favorite Things Knitwear. I think this is the only pattern that's a little bit older. Like this one came out in March 2023, but yeah, it is this oversized wrap cardigan that looks, it's kind of like a loungewear style, and it's a cropped fit, kind of boxy, with this like deep V-neck that almost looks like a robe or something, and it has this tie closure at the waist. And yeah, it just looks so cozy. I've been eyeing this one for, like, it's been in my favorites for a really long time. And yeah, just never actually made it. And then what kind of reminded me of it was this cardigan I'm wearing today. This is a store-bought cardigan that it's just been like so cozy. So it's like, there's no buttons or anything, and then it's just like these big wide, I think it's described as, what do you call it? Not balloon, but like barrel shape sleeve. And yeah, I literally just bought it, but I've been wearing it a ton just like around the house, and it feels so cozy. And I was like thinking about a knit pattern that would kind of have a similar effect of like a cozy sweater for just being home and whatever, but like looks a little bit more elevated than like, I don't know, wearing a sweatshirt or something. So this I think fits the bill. And yeah, like I said, I've had this in my favorites for a while, so I think this is bumping up my priority list. It is made with a lace and DK held together on a 15 stitch gauge, and it comes in extra small through 4XL. The sample photos are more of like a neutral leaning gray, but I think I would go more leaning brown or beigey, but a similar kind of neutral color that you could wear with most things. I go for a white or black shirt or tank top. But yeah, I think this could just be so cozy and nice for the winter, especially, and just feel like you're a little bit more put together, but still feeling very comfy. So yeah, that's all the patterns I wanted to talk about today. Let me know if any of these are on your radar, or if there's patterns that you're really loving and thinking about recently. Also, if you've been knitting along with me, let me know what you're working on. I'd love to hear. And yeah, if you're not already subscribed, I'd love if you would subscribe to my channel If you want to keep up with me more in real time, I post pretty regularly over on Instagram. I also have my Ravelry linked down below. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day or night, and I'll see you next time. Bye.